Good afternoon, everyone. Hello, pretty people. Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you for being here. So, as you know, the cliche of love is proximity, which means a family reunion on Sunday, a hug, and a spontaneous meal, a quick call. But for an immigrant, that is defined by absence. So, I have missed some birthdays, wedding, and even final farewells. With distance, as an immigrant, you felt yourself fading. Today, I want to explore what it means to be a long distance human being. It's kind of a label that is underrated, and most of us here can identify with this. Maybe all of us. A few years ago, I read a book. It's called The Notes of an Undocumented Citizen. And this book, they talk about the situation that I feel related to it. It's living in duality. So you live here and you find a family and your friends and your home. But still you keep on updating yourself about what is going back home and all the news and what your cousins got for breakfast, whatever. So these make you feel as a part of a community and make you bounding to a reality that you are not kind of. For me, it has been 20 years that I live between four forecasts. I moved to France when I was 17, and I left. I left behind my whole family, and in that moment, I realized that it was going to be a long way. So, in my phone, you can find four forecasts: France, Mexico, China, and U.S. I'm a Mexican business owner here in Shanghai. I and I do live between these four forecasts. When I was 17, as I said, I left home for France to study pastry. But my first lesson as a a long distance human being, became with a family crisis and a scholarship. When I arrived in France, I was living my life. It was a wonderful moment because I decided that I was building a new self. But I was kind of bitter on that point because I was not able to share that part with my family. My my best moments, it became just pictures, voice messages, and some kind of cabin calls every month. In a moment, my parents decide to divorce. When I received the news, I called my aunt. Her name is Luli. And she was shocked with I shared to her what it was my decision. I told her, look, Luli, I want to go back home because I'm feeling guilty. I want to go to see my parents and help them out because, you know, it is what you do when you are a daughter, right? You have to be there. You have to be present. And she told me, hold on, baby girl. Please unpack your suitcase and stay there. You must find a way to be there for them, but don't come back home. It doesn't make any sense. There is nothing that you can do for them. And it's what I did. I stayed in France for 5 years. I was living my life. I was so happy, but I didn't went back home. Suddenly, I have this inner voice, this criticism growing up stronger in me because I was feeling guilty. My teachers became my mentors at that point, and they became my family. There was two teachers, Mr. Blanc and Monsieur Glavel. They were like my French parents, and they took me under their wing. They showed me how to live the French way. They took me on holidays with their family, and they became my extended family. Even though I was living the best moment of my life as a young adult, I was feeling still lost, and they saw it. So, for the next, I want to just to explain you, give you a context. French, we have a word that is called lagnac. Okay, what it means, lagnac? Lagnac, it means this inner force that you have, no matter which kind of situation you are living in. When you have a challenge, and there is, you know, like this kind of gasoline that you have, even if the tank is empty, and you keep on driving, and then there's a passion that you have, and you say, no matter what, I'm gonna make this happen, or I'm gonna reach that goal. That's Lagnac. With this context, I have to leave France for some visa issues, right? And once again, I have to say goodbye to my beloved ones. It was a really hard moment for me because I have to live that life that I thought it was the best for me. I came to China and I started to work as a restaurant manager. Family back in Mexico and back in France, they were really upset with this decision because they couldn't understand. My grandma, she was so upset. Like, you left home and you supposed to be a French chef cooking French food, so why are you not doing this, right? And then my French family, they were like, you have a gift. You you basically won competitions here. People loved you. They love your food and they love what you were doing. So why are you not cooking? Why are you not sharing that gift with people? Honestly, that criticism was really loud, and it came in some kind of ways that I could I hope no one can I hope no one will go through to that. So finally, in a moment, someone gave me a call. It was Mr. Blanc, my first and former pastry chef, and he told me, "Look, whatever happened, don't lose Lagnac. With Lagnac, you could go through to everything. So be whatever you want to be, but just to be the best." A few weeks later, my grandma called me as well. And she told me, "Look, I don't care what you want to be. You can be a street cleaner, you can be a pool dancer or a clown. I don't care, just to be the best. Because I don't want it that later on in your life, you regret that you didn't do it. So do it, but be the best." So the call was clear. My grandma was telling to me in a different language, different time zone, different country, "I love you, do whatever you want, but be the best." Sometimes we do miss those messages. We must read between lines. Sometimes the criticism come from people that they love us, just because they don't know how to tell us in the right way. "I love you, I miss you, but I'm here for you." But as a long distance human being, we take a risk. And I think all of us, we can identify with this. So, as a long distance, let's say, Pro Max, I learned this lesson in a hard way on February 27, 2024. The very same auntie that called me and told me, "Don't go back home, stay where you are, and do the best for you," and help them out, she passed from cancer. She called me a few days before she passed and asked me, just "Don't come back home. There is nothing that you can do for me." Of course, I didn't listen to her, and so I went back home. And I did. I was there for her, even she couldn't see me anymore. At church, I met her husband, my uncle, and he came right to me and told me, "Hey, your auntie was thinking about you on her very, very last moments. She was always thinking, is she hungry? Is she happy? Does she has a shelter or whatever? She has someone to hug or someone to cry when she needs it." She said that to being the eldest granddaughter, it's a huge responsibility because you set up the bar for those that come after you. And you did a great job. And then I heard it. She was telling to me that she loved me, no matter where I was and no matter what I do. And by telling me to not coming back home, she was saying, "I love you, but I lift that weight from your shoulders." It's a beautiful paradox, right? So as an immigrant, you live in different time zones, and you have to deal with all of these things at some point in your life. I'm from Mexico, and in Mexico we have this beautiful thing called Day of the Dead. So Day of the Dead have told me what I need to know about love at long distance. Every 1st and 2nd of November, we set an altar. We call el altar de muertos, and we basically bring back the people that we have lost. We cook the favorite meal. We just set up with their items, their favorite food, and their favorite music, and we share one day with them once a year. All right. So for us in our culture, death doesn't have the last call, not even the last word. So be careful you marry Mexican people because that thing of and death do us apart, that doesn't work in Mexican culture. So as a final thought, I'm an immigrant, a pro max, let's say that. And you better tell people every day how much you love them, how much you miss them. Because we never know when is the last time you're going to hug them and the last time you're going to finally say, I love you, see you tomorrow. Because maybe that tomorrow doesn't arrive, right? So I invite you after this TED Talk, just to you go and you call or you text the people that you love the most. It's really important, okay? So how much of you have watched the Super Bowl last week? Okay, so I want to say something that our friend Benito said during the Super Bowl. It's an advice. As long as we are alive, we must love as much as we can. So don't be afraid to say to someone, I love you. It's important. I can't tell you how much it is important just to let them know. And whatever you do, please do it with passion. Have lagnac and be yourself. Thank you so much. Gracias.